field is 2,265.
I'm waiting
Just double
to
check
grid for
the
the last
adjustments,
second, just
your
to
brake
be safe.
adjustment lever. Make sure you know which way is which.
I got 16 laps.
You do have
to
an
spare,
in-car
so
camera.
You'll be all right.
All right, good.
5 off and we're rolling. We have 4 sets of tires.
If you guys go 150 laps on one set of tires, I call cheating.
I'm doing it. Let's go.
You can do it if you don't burn up the right front.
1.
Looks like you'll be lining up behind the 63.
Where's Lee when you need him?
2.
This is easily a four-stop race. Yeah, you're right.
All right, guys. 2 laps to green here, so take your time. Clay, Andrew, we go on iRacing green. Good luck, guys.
Coming to the green this time. Alright, my man. Let's get ready to go out there and have a solid day today. Pace cars up. Do what you can. Green flag, green flag, green flag.
3. 4.
Lap time 26.947. P14. Laps of fuel 205. On lap 2 of 150. Lap time 19.886. P14. Laps of fuel 202. On lap 3 of 150.
Is the leader.
Lap time 19.760.
P1 is the fastest car on the racetrack.
Laps of fuel 199. On lap 4 of 150. Lap time 19.665. P14. Laps of fuel 197. On lap 5 of 150. Lap time 19.485. P14. Laps of fuel 197. On lap 6 of 150. Lap time 19.834. P14. Laps of fuel 197. On lap 7 of 150. Lap time 19.815. P14. Laps of fuel 193. On lap 8 of 150. Lap time 19.396. P14. Laps of fuel 190. On lap 9 of 150. Lap time 19.474. P14. Laps of fuel 190. On lap 10 of 150. Lap time 20.020.
Car on the track.
P13.
19.053.
Laps of fuel 186. On lap 11 of 150.
Meters are running 19.329.
Lap time
A nice lap, man,
19.573. P13. Laps of fuel 183. On lap 12 of 150. Lap time 19.353. P13. Laps of fuel 181. On lap 13 of 150. Lap time 19.511. P13. Laps of fuel 181. On lap 14 of 150. Lap time 19.729. P13. Laps of fuel 178. On lap 15 of 150.
Car behind you, just pitted.
Lap time 19.587. P13. Laps of fuel 177. On lap 16 of 150. Lap time 19.842. P13. Laps of fuel 174. On lap 17 of 150.
So you know, fast guys are running 19.363.
Lap time 19.552. P13. Laps of fuel 172. On lap 18 of 150. Lap time 19.617. P13. Laps of fuel 170. On lap 19 of 150. Lap time 19.557. P13. Laps of fuel 167. On lap 20 of 150. Lap time 19.623. P13. Laps of fuel 166. On lap 21 of 150.
Whoops.
Lap time 19.719. P13. Laps of fuel 164. On lap 22 of 150.
Well, that's a highlight. I passed Josh.
Lap time 19.784. P12.
He was
Laps
spinning
of
the
fuel
course, but still.
163.
You just leave that part out.
On
of the
lap
highlight
23
video.
of
Oh,
Just show the
150.
pass. No. I mean, show your pass.
Eight.
I'm 100%. I've never been more confident than anything that that's going to make
Lap
the
time
highlight video.
19.777. P12. Laps of fuel
That might be a
162.
6-part miniseries.
On lap 24 of 150.
The new meme gif.
Lap time 19.613. P12. Laps of fuel 160.
Nice
On lap
save.
26 of 150.
Nah, I just get through every corner like that.
Lap time 21.662. P13. Laps of fuel 159. On lap 27 of 150. Lap time 19.759. P13. Laps of fuel 158. On lap 28 of 150. Lap time 19.791. P13. Laps of fuel 156. On lap 29 of 150. Lap time 19.854. P13. Laps of fuel 155.
This is an update fast guys.
On lap 30 of 150.
1.
Lap time 19.935. P13. Laps of fuel 153. On lap 31 of 150. Lap time 19.859. P13. Laps of fuel 152. On lap 32 of 150. Lap time 19.791. P13. Laps of fuel 151. On lap 33 of 150. Lap time 19.984. P12. Laps of fuel 150. On lap 34 of 150. Lap time 19.868. P12. Laps of fuel 148. On lap 35 of 150.
Sorry to cut you down there. I lost the line in the sunlight.
Alright. Oh man, you gotta turn
Lap
that
time
HDR off.
19.929. P12.
It's just it washes
Laps
out the
of fuel
line right there.
147. On lap 36 of 150. Lap time 19.868. P12. Laps of fuel 146. On lap 37 of 150. Lap time 19.940. P12. Laps of fuel 144. On lap 38 of 150. Lap time 19.830. P12. Laps of fuel 143. On lap 39 of 150. Lap time 19.809. P12. Laps of fuel 142. On lap 40 of 150.
Nice save.
Lap time
Definitely a
19.908.
pucker moment.
P12. Laps of fuel 140. On lap 41 of 150. Lap time 19.870. P12. Laps of fuel 139. On lap 42 of 150. Lap time 20.014. P12. Laps of fuel 137. On lap 43 of 150. Lap time 20.135. P12. Laps of fuel 136. On lap 44 of 150. Lap time 20.014. P12. Laps of fuel 135. On lap 45 of 150. Lap time 20.041. P12. Laps of fuel 133. On lap 46 of 150. Lap time 20.073. P12. Laps of fuel 132. On lap 47 of 150. Lap time 20.128. P12.
Just an update,
Laps of
guys are
fuel
running
131.
19.846.
On lap 48 of 150. Lap time 20.113. P12. Laps of fuel 130. On lap 49 of 150. Lap time 20.090. P12. Laps of fuel 129. On lap 50 of 150.
Peter is right your mirror, but gonna have to get going.
Lap time 20.222. P12. Laps of fuel 128. On lap 51 of 150. Lap time 20.027. P12. Laps of fuel 126. On lap 52 of 150. Lap time 20.263. P12. Laps of fuel 126.
But I saw it light up.
On lap 53 of 150. Lap time 20.172.
Peter's at a 20.027.
Laps of fuel 125.
Did you have a good look at that?
On lap
Can I go
54
ahead?
of 150.
I didn't, I'm sorry.
Inside.
Lap time
Still there.
20.905.
guys were close and I
P12.
You're clear.
Laps of fuel 124. On lap 55 of
Yeah, we went in,
150.
he was going by me, and then he bounced off of me or something, I don't know.
Lap time 21.082. P12. Laps of fuel 123.
Drop
On
back
lap
in,
56
Ralph.
of 150. Lap time 20.782. P12.
Like,
Laps of fuel 122. On lap 57 of 150.
Got a little wheel damage. If I hold you up, let me know.
I doubt it. I doubt it'll be an issue.
Lap time 20.106. P12. Laps of fuel 121. On lap 58 of 150. Lap time 20.191. P12. Laps of fuel 120. On lap 59 of 150. Lap time 20.338.
Fast guys are running
P12.
20.08.
Laps of fuel 119. On lap 60 of 150.
It's on the bottom.
Lap time 20.275. P12. Laps of fuel 118. On lap 61 of 150. Lap time 20.560. P12. Laps of fuel 117. On lap 62 of 150.
Outside. Outside clear.
Lap time 20.476. P11. Laps of fuel 116. On lap 63 of 150. Lap time 20.187. P11. Laps of fuel 115. On lap 64 of 150. Lap time 20.185. P11. Laps of fuel 114. On lap 65 of 150.
Fast guys are running 20.
Lap time 20.163. P11. Laps of fuel 113. On lap 66 of 150. Lap time 20.566. P11. Laps of fuel 112. On lap 67 of 150.
Inside.
Lap
Inside
time
clear.
20.416.
Working the bottom inside.
P11.
Clear.
Laps of fuel 111. On lap 68 of 150. Lap time 22.013. P11. Laps of fuel 110. On lap 69 of 150.
Inside.
Lap time 20.360.
Still there at the
P11.
bottom.
Laps of fuel 109. On lap
Inside.
70 of 150.
You're clear. Working the bottom. Looks clear, clear, clear.
Lap time 23.185. P12.
Make sure you're backing up
Laps
that entry
of fuel
for me, all right?
109. On lap 71 of 150.
Meters are running 20.087.
Lap time 20.226. P12. Laps of fuel 108. On lap 72 of 150. Lap time 20.855. P12. Laps of fuel 107. On lap 73 of 150. Lap time 20.371. P12. Laps of fuel 106. On lap 74 of 150.
Halfway.
Lap time 20.754. P12. Laps of fuel 105.
3,
1,200. 1,100. 1,000. 900. 800. 700. 500. 400. 300. 200. 100.
1.
0.
Go, 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 go.
Lap time 51.136.
2,
P12. Laps of fuel 105. On lap 76 of 150.
three, 4,
Outside. Clear, clear.
Lap time 31.587. P12. Laps of fuel 104.
Outside.
On lap 77 of 150. Lap time 20.777. P12. Laps of fuel 103. On lap 78 of 150.
Leader pit road.
Lap time 19.769. P12. Laps of fuel 103.
P10 is the fastest car on
On
the
lap
racetrack.
79 of 150.
18.963.
'93 is going to pit the next lap.
Lap time 19.962.
Outside.
P12. Laps of fuel
Outside quarter.
102.
Clear high.
On lap 80 of 150.
18.855.
Oh, no, Tom.
7.
I sped.
Lap time 19.919. P11.
You'll be fine.
Laps of fuel 101. On lap 81 of 150.
Two laps.
Fastest guys on the track are running 19.953. How's it going, man? You
Lap
picked it up
time
a little bit. Looking good.
19.177 new fast
The
lap.
leader's on pit road now.
P11. Laps of fuel 100. On lap 82 of 150.
gonna have a slow one at the bottom.
Lap time 19.192.
The 23
P11.
is the leader.
Laps of fuel 99. On lap 83 of 150.
Man, it's very good.
Good lap.
Lap time 19.125 new fast lap. P10. Laps of fuel 98. On lap 84 of 150. Lap time 19.166. P9. Laps of fuel 97. On lap 85 of 150.
P11 is the fastest car on the racetrack.
1267.
18.852.
Another death from Josh.
Lap time 23.970.
Great job.
P10. Laps of fuel
P11 is the
96.
fastest car on the track.
On lap 86 of 150.
Yeah, the pit road's entrance speed's very good at the end. I was doing like 70. Josh even warned me.
Lap time 19.468. P10.
Didn't you have a
Laps
big
of
lead?
fuel 95.
Ah, no,
On
Jerry
lap
was
87
chopping
of
it down.
150.
P3 is the fastest car on the racetrack. 18.843. Still inside. Fast guys are running 19.883.
Lap time 19.961.
Inside. Still there,
P11.
quarter. Clear
Laps
low.
of fuel 94.
P3
On lap
is
88
the
of
fastest car on the racetrack.
150.
18.819.
Lap time 19.994. P11. Laps of fuel 94. On lap 89 of 150. Lap time 19.400. P11. Laps of fuel 93. On lap 90 of 150. Lap time 19.269. P11. Laps of fuel 91. On lap 91 of 150. Lap time 19.274. P11. Laps of fuel 90. On lap 92 of 150. Lap time 19.221. P11.
Stay high.
Laps of fuel 89. On lap 93 of 150.
Good.
Your fast guys are running 19.941.
Lap time
Inside,
19.762. P11.
Really gonna have
Laps
to go,
of
man.
fuel 88.
The gap is
On lap 94 of 150.
You gotta do it.
Lap
Yeah.
time 19.989. P11. Laps of fuel 87. On lap 95 of 150. Lap time 19.520. P11. Laps of fuel 86. On lap 96 of 150. Lap time 19.428. P11. Laps of fuel 85. On lap 97 of 150. Lap time 22.631. P11. Laps of fuel 84. On lap 98 of 150. Lap time 19.876.
I've never heard that before, but my spotter
P11.
said, you know
Laps
he's gonna
of fuel
roll in
83.
hot on you as we came up
On lap
me.
99 of
He's
150.
not wrong.
Just an update, fast guys are running 19.944.
He knew that I was an asshole.
Lap time 19.930.
At twice as
P11.
fast.
Laps of fuel 82. On lap 100 of 150. Lap time 19.897. P11. Laps of fuel 81. On lap 101 of 150. Lap time 19.783. P11. Laps of fuel 80. On lap 102 of 150. Lap time 19.872. P11. Laps of fuel 79. On lap 103 of 150. Lap time 20.149. P11. Laps of fuel 79. On lap 104 of 150. Lap time 20.015. P11. Laps of fuel 78. On lap 105 of 150.
Fast guys running 19.903.
Lap time 19.710. P11. Laps of fuel 77. On lap 106 of 150. Lap time 19.751. P11. Laps of
Tyler, I
fuel
was,
76.
Like, gonna patch
On
you
lap
because I'm
107 of
laps down.
150.
If I don't drive away, I'll get out of your way. You're racing for position.
I just progressively suck here in this car, seems. That's what I'm anticipating.
Lap time 19.887. P11. Laps of fuel 75. On lap 108 of 150. Lap time 19.729. P11. Laps of fuel 74. On lap 109 of 150. Lap time 19.777. P11. Laps of fuel 73. On lap 110 of 150. Lap time 19.760. P11. Laps of fuel 72. On lap 111 of 150.
Fast guys are running 20.165.
Lap time 19.878. P11. Laps of fuel 71. On lap 112 of 150. Lap time 19.902.
Inside's clear.
P11.
Inside.
Laps
quarter.
of fuel
You're
70.
clear.
On lap 113 of 150. Lap time 22.334. P12. Laps of fuel 69. On lap 114 of 150. Lap time 19.675. P12. Laps of fuel 68. On lap 115 of 150. Lap time 19.658. P12. Laps of fuel 67. On lap 116 of 150. Lap time 19.659. P12. Laps of fuel 66. On lap 117 of 150.
Fast guys running 19.931.
Lap time 19.773. P12. Laps of fuel 64. On lap 118 of 150. Lap time 19.783. P12. Laps of fuel 63. On lap 119 of 150. Lap time 20.014. P12. Laps of fuel 62. On lap 120 of 150. Lap time 20.027. P12. Laps of fuel 61. On lap 121 of 150. Lap time 19.932. P12. Laps of fuel 60. On lap 122 of 150. Lap time 20.331. P12. Laps of fuel 59. On lap 123 of 150.
Still there, clear, clear. Fastest guys on the track are running 20.042.
Lap time 20.757. P12. Laps of fuel 59. On lap 124 of 150.
Twice now I took my eyes off the screen for a second and watched the hockey game.
Lap time
Blueberry
19.920.
Bulldogs.
P12. Laps of fuel 58. On
What's
lap
the score?
125 of
3-0 for
150.
Ouch.
Lap time 19.957. P12. Laps of fuel 57. On lap 126 of 150.
Someone's going to end up dying in this series.
Lap time 20.099. P12. Laps of fuel 56. On lap 127 of 150.
You got her, Clay. Sorry about that.
Are you good, man?
Lap time 19.989. P12. Laps of fuel 55. On lap 128 of 150. Lap time 19.974. P12. Laps of fuel 54. On lap 129 of 150.
So you know, fast guys are running 20.048 inside.
Lap time 20.121.
Inside.
P12.
Still inside.
Laps of fuel
Clear.
53. On lap 130 of 150.
Got 20 laps
Lap
to go
time
right now.
22.107.
Inside.
P12.
Door quarter clear.
Laps of fuel
Inside.
52.
Clear.
Ralph, go ahead.
On lap 131 of 150.
I got one wheel pointing one way and one wheel pointing the other.
Lap time 21.905.
My wife, if you know what I mean.
P12. Laps of fuel 51. On lap 132 of 150.
Thought you were talking about your swinger birdies.
Chris got swinger parties. Not
Lap
mine.
time
Just 'cause I go doesn't mean
19.862.
they're mine. Not the host.
P12.
Wait, sorry.
Laps of fuel 50. On lap 133 of 150. Lap time 19.951. P12. Laps of fuel 49. On lap 134 of 150.
Sorry, man. That was sloppy.
Lap time 19.938. P12. Laps of fuel 48. On lap 135 of 150.
Leaders are running 20.741.
Lap time 19.921. P12. Laps of fuel 47. On lap 136 of 150. Lap time 19.910. P12. Laps of fuel 46. On lap 137 of 150. Lap time 19.814. P12. Laps of fuel 45.
Sorry about that, Andrew.
On lap 138 of 150.
Plenty of time. He was watching me try not to wreck Josh.
Yeah. Go ahead, Jerry.
Lap time 19.769. P12. Laps
Now
of
we
fuel
haven't hit nothing.
44.
Just keep rolling, man.
On lap 139 of 150.
Hey, now that wasn't even me that time.
Lap time 20.465. P12. Laps of fuel 43. On lap 140 of 150.
About 10 more laps. 10.
Lap time 19.929. P12. Laps of fuel 42. On lap 141 of 150.
This is an update. Fast guys are running 20.208.
Lap time 19.983. P12. Laps of fuel 40. On lap 142 of 150. Lap time 20.022.
47 is the leader.
P12. Laps of fuel 39. On lap 143 of 150.
I'm not trying to pass you, Josh.
Lap time 19.972. P12. Laps of fuel 38. On lap 144 of 150. Lap time 20.064. P11. Laps of fuel 37. On lap 145 of 150.
2 laps to go, 2 laps to go.
Lap time 20.174. P11. Laps of fuel 36. On lap 146 of 150.
Do whatever you gotta do, man. You're gonna be coming to the white flag.
Lap time 20.179. P11. Laps of fuel 35. On lap 147 of 150.
So
I'll see
close,
you
Jay.
guys next.
Good race.
I'll see you guys next time. If I didn't speed, that 40 seconds killed me.
Nice job, Tyler. Did you stay out, Josh?
Lap time 20.338.
Check your flag.
P11.
Good job.
Laps of
Good
fuel
job,
36.
3, 2,
On lap 2 of
I was tempted to stay up, but when
168.
I saw
That's
Josh
a
was the only
beautiful
one out,
example of letting one
1,200.
mistake turn into a bunch of mistakes.
1,100.
I was
1,000.
like trying to back it down, but I was out
900.
of rhythm, so I said screw it, pitted. But I even knew where I had to slow down, but
Gravel
I
and Bruiser.
just blew right through the end of the pit road.
Burn
I
down,
gotta
Andrew.
go. I gotta go look at that finish, Andrew. That was
Good job, guys. See you next time.
that was a blast.